Hey, isn't it back yet? How long are you going to keep us waiting? Jeers echoed through the pitch-dark hall. I work part-time at a musical instrument store. Today, the store was hosting a big event, a piano concert. But unfortunately, we got hit by a blackout, leaving the venue in total darkness. 20 minutes had passed without the concert starting, and the audience's irritation and anger were palpable. Enough already! I'm leaving! Several members of the weary audience stood up from their seats when I, a part-time worker, said, "I'll go." Then, I headed towards the piano. I felt my way to the piano in the dark. The keys were hard to see. There was no sheet music. But none of that mattered. I played the keys, one note at a time. And this event would go on to change my life significantly. My name is John, I'm 29 years old. My job is tuning pianos, though I'm just a part-timer at the music store. Some people give me strange looks for choosing part-time work at my age instead of a full-time position. Even so, the store manager, Mike, doesn't push me to change roles and lets me do as I please. He's a very understanding person. One day, Mike introduced me to someone from the company. The store was about to expand its floor space, and this person was brought in from another store to help lead and manage the expansion. "Hi, I'm Jessica. I'll be your new manager, but you all are the experts here. Please show me the ropes." The woman who greeted us in a friendly yet confident manner at the morning meeting was stunningly beautiful. She had fair, healthy skin and shiny short black hair. And she had well-defined features that seemed more suited to a magazine or TV screen than a music store. The other staff and part-time workers were also overwhelmed, but when it came up in conversation later, they were at a loss for words, with "she's beautiful" being the only comment that came to mind. "John, can I see you for a moment?" As I began my rounds checking the pianos, Mike called out to me. Jessica stood beside him. It seemed like he was introducing everyone one by one. "This is John, our part-timer. He's a piano tuner and quite skilled, though he could use a bit more charm." I couldn't help but protest, as Mike shrugged apologetically. "I treat customers politely." I know. That's not what I meant. It's more about having charm." And he tends to be quite guarded. Feeling like I'd just been compared to a wary animal, I got even more annoyed. "I thought I was open with you, Mike. You need to open up to others too, not just me." "Yeah. So, Jessica, if you need anything related to pianos, he's your guy. He's just a part-timer in position, but a true professional in skill. Please don't raise the bar too high." I couldn't say, it hurts when I can't meet expectations and disappoint people, so I just nodded ambiguously and got through the moment. "John, can we talk about the shift the day after tomorrow?" The next day, Jessica came to me right after the morning meeting. "Sure, what's up?" "About your work location the day after tomorrow. Is it a shift to another store?" "No, I want you to come to a concert with me." She handed me a flyer for a concert at a hall in the neighboring city. The organizer was a pianist known by anyone who's ever touched a piano. I'd gone to hear him play several times myself. "Is it work?" "Yes, we need to tune the piano before the rehearsal. Our company is contracted with him." "I see, but why me? Aren't you also a piano tuner?" "Yes, but Mike praised you highly, and I thought it would be a good opportunity for you to gain some experience in a professional setting." Experience. I'm not planning on stepping up in my career, but maybe it has some meaning. Still, even as a part-timer, I'm a member of the company. If gaining experience is part of the policy, I have to comply. Besides, I had no reason to refuse. I wasn't thrilled about going to a concert hall, but if it's work, I had no choice. I nodded, trying not to let on how reluctant I was. On the day of the event, I followed Jessica onto the stage, passing through the bustling hall where only staff were preparing. "Timothy, long time no see. I'm Jessica from Sakura Instruments." "Hey Jessica, looking forward to working with you today." Jessica exchanged greetings with Timothy, the pianist and concert organizer. They seemed to know each other. As Jessica got to work, Timothy looked troubled. "Listen, Jessica, this piano's been acting up lately. Maybe it's just nerves, but it's been off since the venue changed. As he said this, while stroking the grand piano, it indeed had an unusual tone. The keys themselves weren't in bad shape. Yet each note seemed to flutter unpredictably, like butterflies in the field. Why is this happening with a piano that is being treated normally? More importantly, it was strange for Timothy's piano to be like this. Jessica frowned but immersed herself in the task. How does it sound? Jessica stepped away from the piano, wiping sweat from her brow. Timothy placed his hands on the keys and let his fingers glide. His favorite piece filled the hall, or so it seemed, until he stopped after about 3 measures. Timothy groaned. Jessica's shoulders slumped. Jessica's tuning was impeccable. The sound was coherent. But the core of the notes still seemed scattered. I'm sorry, could I have a bit more time? No, you did well. I'll just adjust it during rehearsal. Hey, Jessica. I couldn't help but whisper to her. If you tune it for a brighter sound, it might help. A brighter sound? That way, the direction of the sound might align better. Wait a minute. Jessica pulled me closer to Timothy. I'm sorry, just a little more time, please. If this doesn't work, we won't charge for the tuning. Well, if you insist. Thank you. Jessica bowed her head and put me in front of the piano. She made some excuse to Timothy about needing assistance and then whispered to me. Give it a try. Me? I'll take responsibility. Reluctantly, I accepted the tuning tools and touched the piano. As soon as I played the keys, the discomfort was evident. The sound was higher and louder than expected. Timothy's remark about the piano being nervous seemed accurate. I focused solely on my fingers and ears, engaging with the piano. I had no idea how much time had passed, but I eventually achieved a satisfactory result. Finally, I whispered to the piano, "It's okay, your sound is the best in the world. I'm done." When I turned around, Jessica and Timothy were staring at me, dumbfounded. Jessica had completely stepped away from the piano. I wondered if it was okay, considering it was supposed to be her tuning the piano. Oh, right. Excuse me. Timothy sat down at the piano. You had such an intense focus. I couldn't interrupt, Jessica said beside me. As soon as she spoke, beautiful melodies flowed from the piano like a song. It seemed the piano's mood had improved. Both Timothy, playing the piano, and Jessica, standing beside me, were wide-eyed, captivated by the music. I too was absorbed in Timothy's performance for a while. After finishing a full piece, Timothy stood up, shook my hand vigorously. You're amazing. You fixed it perfectly. I'm glad you're satisfied. Timothy happily started his second piece and then moved into rehearsal. We sighed with relief and stepped off the stage. Sitting on a bench in the lobby before the audience arrived, I watched the rehearsal on the monitor. I had planned to return to the store afterward, but Timothy insisted I stay and listen, so they arranged a seat for me. Jessica, who bought coffee from the vending machine, handed me a canned drink. Thank you. No, thank you. Jessica sat next to me and sipped her coffee. Even with a canned coffee, she looked like she was in an advertisement, and I watched absent-mindedly. Unbothered by my gaze, she looked back at me. Who are you? What do you mean? I'm a part-timer at Sakura Instruments. No, that's not what I mean. You know what I'm trying to say. Jessica pointed at the piano on the monitor. Your tuning skills were extraordinary. I can't believe you're just a part-timer at a music store. It was just a coincidence that I matched well with that piano. No way. Hey, John? A voice called out to me from behind. I turned instinctively and immediately regretted coming here. Seriously, John? Isaac. A classmate from my student days was standing there, leaning on a cart loaded with cardboard boxes. Long time no see. So, you're still involved with pianos, huh? No, I'm doing other work. Other work? Isaac seemed to understand from the bag of tuning tools beside us, nodding exaggeratedly and smirking. Yeah, it makes sense. It'd be impossible for a loser who humiliated himself to still be playing the piano. What are you doing, Isaac? Ignoring his belittling comment, I tried to change the subject. Isaac tapped the cardboard boxes with his finger. Getting ready for the opening. I'm in the same agency as Timothy. Today, I'm in charge of handing out pamphlets at the reception. You know, now that I'm getting recognized, I need to interact with the fans. Being popular keeps me busy. I see. Well, I should get going. Are you staying to listen to Timothy's performance? Yeah, I guess. Then make sure not to feel too inferior. You're always so weak under pressure. Leaving behind a full piece of advice, Isaac walked away. Jessica seemed unsure of what to say, standing beside me. He was a classmate from music college. You went to a music college? There are many who get in. You asked who I was earlier, right? I'm really nobody. But I majored in piano, so I have a good ear. That's all. I see. Not wanting to say more, I fell silent. Jessica didn't press further, and only the sound of the piano through the speakers filled the space. Mike said you don't open up to people. Jessica murmured. But you open up to the piano. Do I open up to the piano? Is that how it looked? I don't play the piano anymore. But why am I still working with pianos? No, I don't want to think about it. Still, her words lingered in my ears. Until the rehearsal ended, I was lost in thought. Our music store, now successfully expanded, decided to hold an event to celebrate the reopening. We were hosting a concert at a nearby hall with a pianist under contract. And the piano used in the performance would be put up for sale. It was all Jessica's idea. I thought it was a bold move, but the pre-event publicity was tremendous, and all the seats were sold out well before the event. I was busy moving around the hall as part of the preparation staff. Of course, the piano tuning for the video was also my responsibility. All right, that should do it. I gave the well-tuned piano a final wipe with a cloth. I hope someone wants you. If anyone saw me talking to a piano, I wondered what they'd think. But Jessica's words about me opening up to the piano still lingered in my mind. It's true, the time spent facing the piano is comforting. Even if I no longer play, I still want others to appreciate the beauty of the piano. So, perhaps her words weren't wrong after all. The rehearsal ended, and the audience began filing into the hall. Despite the heavy rain outside, the hall was nearly full. I stayed backstage, ready to step in, if the piano had any issues during the performance. It was a lucky break to hear the pianist's performances from such a prime spot. The starting buzzer would sound any moment now. Just as I glanced at my watch, everything went dark. What? I looked up and around, but it was pitch black everywhere. The murmurs from the audience began to grow louder. Staff members hurried around the hall with flashlights and phone lights. Attention, everyone! Due to a nearby lightning strike, we are experiencing a blackout. Please be patient while we work on restoring power. A staff member shouted to the audience. A blackout, what a hassle! But with backup generators, the power should be back in no time, within 5 minutes or so. Everyone waited, slightly anxious, in the hall lit only by emergency lights. But the lights didn't come back on. 20 minutes had already passed since the blackout. The backstage area was filled with frustration. Is the power back yet? The backup generator isn't working for some reason. Make another announcement. The staff members exchanged updates around me. Hey, isn't it back yet? How long are you going to keep us waiting? Forget it, I'm leaving. The audience started getting restless, with occasional angry shouts directed at the stage and the staff. Some people had already left their seats and headed to the lobby. There was still no sign of the power returning. This isn't good. Should we start? But performing in this situation. I could hear Jessica and Mike discussing nearby. The pianists we had today could play in a blackout, and they could play even with their eyes closed. But that wasn't the issue. Using the pianists who were invited for this special event just to calm the audience was the problem. We didn't want to disrespect them. But at this rate, the concert would be a disaster. John. Mike called my name in a strained voice. I knew immediately what he wanted. He wanted me to perform. I can't do it. I haven't played in years. But you've been listening to piano music all this time. That's Mike knew why I had stopped playing the piano. He had never once pushed me to return, yet now, in this situation, a person who loves the piano like you can't be unable to play. I've been waiting for the day you'd return to the stage. But why now, of all times? I saw it as a chance. A chance? The stage is completely dark now. No one will know it's you, nor would they think it's you. Because of the blackout. No one expects a perfect performance. Even if a child played, they'd be satisfied. That's. Mike was lowering the bar as much as possible to give me the courage to step up. John. Jessica tapped me on the shoulder. Actually, I've heard you play before. I asked Mike to let me listen. What? Just once. The piece you played in a competition when you were in high school. That piece. I really like that piece. Could you play it for me? Her casual tone naturally pushed me forward. Jessica's voice shielded me from the jeers coming from the audience as she escorted me to the piano. You added a personal touch to the opening, right? It was fantastic. That was just a kid's arrangement. Well, I was mesmerized. Jessica sat down and opened the lid of the piano keys. It seemed she intended to listen to my performance from beside me. So, I'm playing for Jessica now. There are no other people in this space. With that thought, my fingers started to glide over the keys naturally. Immediately, the noise in the hall disappeared, leaving only the sound of the piano. The audience wasn't there. It was just me and Jessica. A familiar piece of classical music I'd played countless times. Even though I hadn't played in years, my fingers, arms, and feet remembered. This phrase was one of my favorites. I added the arrangement Jessica requested. This part was a bit challenging, but it was incredibly beautiful. One after another, the structure of the songs raced through my mind. Memories of the enjoyable times back then came flooding back. Despite the hiatus, playing the piano filled the gap. Thank you, you truly are a wonderful piano. Just a little longer, please stay with me. I surrendered to the piano, drifting in a sea of sound. How comfortable this is. I want to stay immersed in it longer. I reluctantly played the final phrase. As I lifted my hands from the keys, a brilliant white light enveloped me. I instinctively closed my eyes, squinting them open after a moment. At that instant, the hall was filled with thunderous applause. I looked up to see the audience, standing, clapping, and whistling. What? What was this applause for? What was I doing just now? Oh, right, there was a blackout, and I played the piano, and now the power's back? Oh no! I hurriedly stood up and ran to the stage wings. But then, I stopped abruptly. John! Mike looked worried, and Jessica was running after me. I turned my back to them and faced the audience. I bowed deeply before finally retreating to the stage wings. Thank you so much for today. After my performance, the concert had resumed successfully. I was in a daze until Jessica and Mike pulled me out after cleanup. In the now calm dressing room, I drank some tea to soothe my parched throat. After the concert, there were so many inquiries about who the pianist was that played in the dark. But I kept your name a secret. Should I have told them? No way. I don't want the attention. I understand how you feel. Still, today's performance was truly amazing. It was because of you, Jessica. You listening by my side helped me play. I didn't do anything. If anything, I dragged you out against your will. Even so, you helped me forget the audience so I could play. Can I tell you something? I started to explain how I ended up where I am now. I had been playing the piano since kindergarten and continued through high school without losing interest. By the time I entered music college, I was already known in the industry as a student pianist. I got my piano tuning certification around that time. I wanted to be able to tune the piano I played myself. At the beginning of college, I was unstoppable, winning every competition I entered. Some even called me a genius pianist. I was happy to be highly evaluated, but what I enjoyed most was seeing the audience's reactions to my playing. However, as I was about to graduate, I hit a wall. That wall was Isaac. He was a classmate from the same college, and we knew each other. When I accidentally heard his performance at a competition, it gave me goosebumps. His bold and rough yet delicate rhythm was captivating. Though he had been unknown until then, he began to emerge as a late bloomer. He also had a piano tuning certification, and his competition results were soon on par with mine, leading to frequent comparisons. When we competed in the same contest, Isaac won first place. Meanwhile, I didn't even make second place, and I ended up in 10th. In our first shared competition, he showcased his superior talent. I was shaken, and instead of enjoying playing the piano, I started obsessing over rankings, fearing another significant defeat by him. At college, everyone knew the competition results immediately. It was impossible not to care. And my piano, played without joy, couldn't be accepted. I became terrified of performing in front of people. Even if I enjoyed playing during practice, my performances were terrible in front of an audience. I made repeated, impossible mistakes, and one day, I even got jeered during a performance. Since then, performing in front of people has been a traumatic experience, and I became reluctant to draw any attention at all. Naturally, my reputation plummeted. Friends I thought I had began treating me coldly. It turned out my relationships were merely based on my fame. Not everyone was like that, but I became paranoid, unsure of what others truly thought of me. Even those who smiled on the surface might have felt contempt for me. As a result, I avoided getting close to people, fearing intimacy. I see. I'm sorry for making you talk about such a painful experience. Jessica looked sad after hearing my story. No, I'm sorry for burdening you with my story. Why apologize? I'm glad you shared it with me. It means you've opened your heart to me, even if just a little, right? Well, Jessica was right. Talking about my trauma meant I wanted her to know. And somehow, it didn't feel bad that she knew. She had made it possible for me to play the piano again, after all. Was it because you couldn't see how others were looking at you that you could play earlier? That means it's a battle within yourself whether you can play in the future. A battle within myself. Yes, you said the audience's reaction was your favorite part, right? Then you can't ignore the audience's presence. Her words struck me. Indeed, even if I was scared of the audience, what I sought was their reaction. Therefore, the real fight isn't with the jeering audience but with myself. Hey, I have a suggestion. Jessica showed me a video on her phone. The screen was dark, but I recognized it as my performance from earlier. Today's concert allowed recording, right? Timothy recorded this video and wants to post it on social media if you agree. What's the purpose? Would there even be a demand for a performance by an unknown pianist in the dark? Of course, we want many people to hear this amazing performance. We'll keep your name anonymous and hide your face. But I want you to see the reactions and comments on the posted video to see how many people are moved by your performance. Do you think it'll work? I guarantee it. Just as she said, the video garnered a lot of attention. The video, titled "A Masterpiece in the Dark During a Power Outage," received numerous praise comments. Have you accepted it now? Your piano playing can entertain people. Jessica proudly showed me the comments. She also mentioned that there were interview requests about the video. Startled, I had no choice but to nod. As I recalled the events of that day during the interviews, I felt a renewed desire to play the piano again. When I consulted Jessica, she happily proposed several opportunities for performances. Starting with small local competitions, through various connections, I gradually became accustomed to performing in front of people. Each performance, where I could feel the audience's reactions directly, was enjoyable, and I kept participating one after another. By then, it was revealed that I was the pianist in the dark performance, and soon, the name John the Pianist became widely known. Then, I was invited to be a guest at a concert hosted by Timothy. I owed him so much, so I couldn't thank him enough. After rehearsal, I was chatting with Jessica in the lobby when Isaac naturally approached to greet us. He was the reason I had stopped playing, but the issue was my lack of skill. Though his words were harsh, I couldn't bring myself to dislike him, so I responded without dwelling on past trauma. So, you're performing today? Yeah, thanks to Timothy. Are you performing too, Isaac? No, I'm backstage today. By the way, I heard you have a concert coming up with Sakura Instruments? If you let me know, I could perform too. Oh, right. Jessica interrupted Isaac's sales pitch, clapping her hands as if remembering something. I finally found out about you. The problem with Timothy's piano before, that was your doing, wasn't it? What? What are you talking about? What do you mean? Apparently, he interrupted another tuner working on Timothy's piano, claiming he'd do it because he was from the same agency. No one dared to stop him because he had some standing in the agency. And according to those who witnessed it, he tuned the piano to suit his playing style. What? No wonder the sound was so off. Isaac and Timothy's playing styles are entirely different. Why would you do that? Probably, he decided to shift to being a tuner before his declining skills became apparent. This isn't just my guess. And it's based on information from the agency as well. Ah. It seemed to have hit the mark. Thanks to you, I almost messed up in front of Timothy. John saved the day. But this could damage our credibility, so I reported it to the agency. And by the way, you have a terrible reputation among the office girls. They all make unpleasant faces when your name comes up. Forcing dates. Inappropriate touching, bad-mouthing Timothy. I reported all that too. No way. Isaac's face turned pale. Maybe that's why he's backstage today. Maybe you had some talent at one point, but you got too arrogant. Why don't you start from scratch? I recommend working part-time at a music store. In the end, Isaac's contract wasn't renewed, and rumors spread within the small industry, making it hard for him to find a new place. I heard that, perhaps influenced by Jessica's advice, he ended up working part-time at another music store to make a living. As for me, I'm still with Sakura Instruments. I become a full-time tuner at Sakura Instruments while occasionally holding concerts. Don't you actually want to pursue a career as a full-time pianist? Jessica asked, looking concerned. I replied, I also play to perform for you, so I don't intend to leave Sakura Instruments. Seeing Jessica blush at my words made me realize what I had just said. Oh, that's not what I meant. Of course, I want others to hear my music too, but it's mainly because you, Jessica, helped me overcome my trauma. And it makes me happy that you're there. No matter what I said, it sounded like a love confession, so I finally gave in and asked her out. She accepted easily, and within less than a year, we were married. Finally, you've opened your heart not just to the piano but to me as well. Seeing her smile so happily made me realize that the piano isn't just a means to compete, but something to bring joy to people. It took me a long time to realize the obvious, but from now on, I want to cherish both my feelings and the piano.